Having a strong mind is seriously crucial for how you rocket life. It's like having a hidden superpower that keeps you going, even when things get crazy hard. Mental strength is what helps you tackle problems, stay committed to your goals, and face challenges head-on, especially when your talents and skills alone don't cut it. This video dives into the important concepts of Buddhism and how they connect to 10 habits that can actually weaken your mind. By embracing these teachings and applying them in our lives, we can begin a kick-ass journey towards building stronger minds that bounce back from tough times with ease. Habit number 1. Being negative all the time is like having a big rain cloud over our happiness. It's a bad habit that makes us mentally weak because it taints everything in our lives with gloom and sadness. When we only see the negative, we totally miss out on all the good things happening around us. It's kind of like putting on a pair of dark shades, you know. Suddenly, everything seems gloomy, even the good stuff. When our minds are stuck in negativity mode, it's easy to start believing that everything is just plain awful. We convince ourselves that success and happiness are out of reach. And guess what? That negative mindset becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. It affects how we act and the choices we make. We become scared to take risks or try anything new because we've convinced ourselves it'll all go down the drain anyway. If you're feeling down and need a boost, Buddhism has some pretty helpful teachings. One cool idea is mindfulness, which means being aware of our thoughts without getting all judgy about them. Instead of letting negativity take over, we can acknowledge those thoughts and shift our focus to the positive stuff. It's like sweeping away dark clouds to let the sun shine in. In Buddhism, there's this cool thing called metta or loving-kindness meditation. It's all about sending good vibes and positive thoughts to ourselves and those around us. When we make it a habit to practice metta regularly, it helps us become more compassionate and positive in our way of thinking. So basically, it helps us leave behind the negativity and embrace a more loving approach to life. In Buddhism, they talk about impermanence, which basically means that everything is always changing. So whether we're going through a rough patch or enjoying the good times, we can take comfort in knowing that it won't last forever. This mindset helps us to deal with challenges more easily and bounce back quickly because we understand that tough times are only temporary. By embracing these Buddhist teachings, we can let go of negativity and cultivate a positive and resilient mind. Habit number 2. Griping about stuff that's beyond our control is a total bummer. It's like clutching onto a hot coal. It just ends up hurting us, no. This habit messes with our heads because it keeps us fixated on what's going wrong instead of figuring out solutions. It's like getting trapped in quicksand. The more we complain, the deeper we sink into negativity. Buddhism has some wisdom to share on why this habit messes with our minds and how we can break free from its hold. When we complain, we often overlook the concept of impermanence, which is a key idea in Buddhism. Impermanence simply means that everything is constantly changing. Complaining tends to make us think that things will never improve, keeping us stuck in a cycle of dissatisfaction. Instead of seeing challenges as temporary obstacles, we mistakenly perceive them as permanent problems. If we want to stop constantly complaining, one way to do it is by practicing acceptance. It's important to realize that life has its ups and downs, and there are things beyond our control. Instead of griping about the storm, we can learn to dance in the rain. Metaphorically speaking, acceptance allows us to let go of the weighty burden of constant complaints by embracing what we can't change. In Buddhism, we're encouraged to direct our energy towards things we can actually control. It's kind of like steering a boat during a storm. We may not be able to control the weather, but we can navigate our way through it. By focusing on what's within our power, we shift from complaining to problem solving. Buddhism also teaches us the importance of letting go. It's like releasing a balloon. When we release unnecessary burdens, we feel lighter and create space for positive change. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means loosening our grip on complaints and embracing opportunities for growth and positivity. When we embrace Buddhist principles in our everyday lives, it helps us face challenges with a calm and open mind. We understand that situations are temporary, so we channel our energy into areas where we can actually make a positive impact. This mindset frees us from complaining and nurtures a mental toughness that keeps us moving forward, even when things get tough. Habit number 3. Keeping your thoughts and feelings to yourself is like hiding a treasure chest instead of showing it off. It's not good for our minds because we miss out on sharing our ideas with the world. It's like stumbling around in the dark without turning on the light. Things just get confusing and overwhelming. Buddhism teaches us why this habit weakens us mentally and how we can break free from it. In Buddhism, being real and expressing ourselves honestly is super important for our mental well-being. It's like when you shake up a soda can and keep the cap on tight. The pressure keeps building up until it inevitably bursts. If we hold back our thoughts and emotions, it can lead to stress, anxiety, or just feeling totally overwhelmed because we haven't let it all out. So be true to yourself and let those feelings out. In Buddhism, we're encouraged to practice right speech. It's all about being truthful, kind, and mindful when we communicate. Think of it as planting seeds of positivity. Every word we speak has the power to grow into a beautiful garden of understanding and connection. When we align our words with these principles, it helps us build genuine relationships and connect with others on a deeper level. If you're struggling to speak up and express yourself, mindfulness can be a game changer. It's like having a mirror that shows us our thoughts and emotional state. By being fully present in the moment, we can observe our thoughts without any judgment. This helps us communicate with clarity and kindness. When it comes to expressing ourselves, it's not all about the words we choose. Nonverbal communication, like body language and gestures, plays a big part too. It's like having our own secret language that says so much without uttering a single word. Being aware of our nonverbal cues helps us express ourselves in a genuine way. When we apply these Buddhist teachings to our lives, it's amazing how much freedom and happiness we can unlock. Expressing ourselves not only benefits us, but also makes a positive impact on those around us. It's like opening a window to let in some fresh air. Being authentic allows us to deepen our understanding and connections with others, creating a brighter mindset. So let's break free from the habit of holding back and embark on a journey towards authenticity, building a strong and confident mind along the way. Habit number 4. Pointing fingers at others for our problems is like trying to run a race with a heavy backpack full of rocks. It just slows us down and weighs us down mentally. It's like giving up our control over our own lives and letting someone else take the wheel. Buddhism teaches us why this habit makes us mentally weak and offers ways to break free from the blame game. In Buddhism, karma is all about cause and effect. It tells us that our actions have consequences. So when we blame others, we're basically pretending this law doesn't exist and refusing to acknowledge our own role in shaping our lives. Blaming others is like sitting on the sidelines instead of being actively involved in our own journey. It's important to take personal responsibility and realize that we have the power to shape our experiences. Think of it as being the captain of our own ship. We might encounter rough waters, but we can steer through them. Blaming others suggests that we have no control, but in truth, we do. When we realize that what we do really does make a difference, it gives us the power to make good choices. Blaming others all the time can become a bad habit, but forgiveness helps break that cycle. It's not about saying that what they did was okay, but it's about letting go of the anger and freeing ourselves from carrying that unnecessary weight. It's like dropping a heavy backpack. We instantly feel lighter and more liberated. By forgiving others and ourselves, we take a big step forward in taking ownership of our own actions. Mindfulness, a practice rooted in Buddhism, is all about being aware of our thoughts and actions. It's like turning on a light in a dark room. Suddenly, we can see where we're headed. When we practice mindfulness, we can catch ourselves when we're about to point fingers and instead choose a more empowering response. It's like swapping heavy rocks in our backpack for wings that let us soar. When we bring these Buddhist teachings into our lives, we're basically saying, hey, Let's take control and steer our own ship. Breaking free from the blame game isn't just about pointing fingers at others. It's about realizing our own power to shape a positive mindset. By ditching blame and embracing personal responsibility, we embark on a badass journey towards mental strength and becoming the boss of our own lives. Habit number 5. Daydreaming instead of visualizing is like dreaming up grand plans without a solid foundation. Sure, it might be nice to imagine all these beautiful things, but they don't really connect with the reality of the present moment. It's like chasing illusions in a desert. We may never actually get what we're hoping for. Buddhism teachings can shed some light on why this habit weakens us mentally and how we can switch to visualization for a more practical and positive mindset. Fantasies are like those daydreams where we imagine all these amazing things that are pretty unrealistic. It's like hoping for a pot of gold at the end of a rainbow. Sounds beautiful, but it's not gonna happen in real life. The problem with getting lost in fantasies is that we miss out on appreciating what's happening right now. And when reality doesn't match up with our dreams, it can be a real bummer and bring us down. Visualization is all about picturing your goals in your mind's eye. It's like having a treasure map that guides you towards what you want to achieve. Buddhism teaches us that having the right intention and taking the right action are key, which aligns perfectly with visualizing positive outcomes and actually working towards them. By staying grounded in reality, we can turn our dreams into achievable goals. In Buddhism, they teach us that everything is always changing. It's a constant reminder that nothing lasts forever. When we daydream or fantasize, we often get caught up in wanting things to stay a certain way in the future. But visualization is different. It helps us adapt to the ever-changing nature of life. It's like riding a wave instead of desperately holding onto the shore. We learn to go with the flow and embrace life's ups and downs. By accepting that everything is impermanent, we can develop a more flexible and strong mindset. If you find yourself daydreaming a lot, mindfulness can really come in handy. It's like wearing special glasses that help us see the here and now. It helps us become more aware of our thoughts and steer them towards positive and realistic visualizations. Mindfulness lets us enjoy the present moment while still making progress towards our goals. Pretty neat, huh? When we start applying these teachings in our lives, it's like a wake-up call to move away from daydreams and embrace visualizing our goals. This mindset shift brings more positivity and practicality. By practicing impermanence, having the right intentions, and being mindful, we break free from unrealistic fantasies. Instead, we use visualization as a powerful tool to create positive outcomes and navigate life with purpose and resilience. Habit number 6. If we don't make time for personal relationships, it's like having a garden and forgetting to water the plants. Eventually, everything starts to die off. We humans are social creatures, so not having meaningful connections can really mess with our minds. It's like sailing a boat without any wind. Sure, we might move forward, but it'll be a slow and lonely journey. Buddhism teaches us a lot about why neglecting personal connections can make us mentally weak. It also shows us how we can strengthen our relationships and create meaningful connections by giving the gift of time. It's kind of like shutting the door to a cozy home that's filled with warmth and love. When we don't prioritize our relationships, we're basically missing out on the warm fuzzies and support they bring. It's like forgetting to tend to a garden. Before you know it, there are misunderstandings and distance creeping in like pesky weeds. This can really take a toll on our mental well-being because we start feeling lonely and lacking that lovey-dovey nourishment from loved ones. Building and maintaining relationships takes work, just like tending to a garden. To avoid neglecting our personal connections, let's focus on being present. Being there for someone is like adding sunshine to their life. It really helps the relationship grow. Spending quality time with loved ones is like watering the plants regularly. It nourishes our bonds and makes our connection stronger. Communication is super important when it comes to building and maintaining good relationships. It's like the wind that pushes a boat forward, helping us move ahead. And just like water keeps a garden alive, Taking the time to listen and share our thoughts and feelings keeps our relationships healthy and lively. When we're open and talkative, we promote understanding and strengthen our bonds with others. Buddhism reminds us that life is impermanent, including the time we spend with our loved ones. It's like enjoying a yummy meal. We savor it even more when we know it won't last forever. When we understand how fleeting time is, it pushes us to prioritize relationships and make the most of the precious gift of time with those who matter to us. When we embrace these teachings, it's a reminder that our personal relationships are super important. They're like the threads that weave the fabric of our well-being. By carving out time for our loved ones, we build a support system that makes us mentally stronger and adds so much richness to our lives. Instead of neglecting these connections, let's break free from that habit and navigate life with awesome companions by our side. Trust me, it'll make the journey way more joyful and fulfilling. Habit number 7. When we let our emotions take the driver's seat, it's like being swept away by a powerful river current. We lose control and purpose, which can really mess with our minds. Emotions can be intense, and if we don't manage them properly, they can easily overwhelm us and throw us off course. It's like being caught in a storm without a compass. We might end up lost in all the chaos. Buddhism teaches us why this habit can weaken our mental strength and how we can boost our emotional intelligence. Mindfulness, a key practice in Buddhism, helps us observe our emotions without getting carried away by them. It's like chilling on the riverbank, watching the water flow, but not getting sucked into it. We can witness our emotions without being overwhelmed by them. When our emotions take control, it's like being stuck in a crazy storm without anything to hold on to. We end up getting tossed around, and it becomes tough to find our way. But emotional intelligence is like having a trusty compass in that storm. It's all about recognizing, understanding, and managing our own emotions, while also empathizing with others. This helps us navigate through challenges and keep on track when things get rough. When we let our emotions take the wheel, it's like giving control to a wild force and potentially getting lost in all the craziness. But hey, there's a way to break this habit. Mindfulness is like a reliable boat that keeps us steady amidst all the waves. By being present in the moment and checking out our emotions without any judgment, we can learn to respond wisely instead of just going with our gut instincts. It's all about staying cool and making smart decisions. Buddhism gives us a nudge to keep our minds balanced by doing stuff like loving-kindness meditation. It's kinda like planting compassion seeds in our hearts that eventually grow into a beautiful garden. This garden helps us respond to emotions with kindness, not just towards ourselves, but also towards others. When we embrace emotional intelligence, we unlock this cool set of skills that help us understand, handle, and learn from our feelings. If we start living by these teachings, we can stop letting our emotions run the show. Instead of getting overwhelmed by emotional roller coasters, we take charge and guide ourselves with mindfulness and kindness. By developing emotional intelligence, we sail through various emotions with strength, staying on track towards mental well-being and inner power. Habit number 8. Trying to control everything is like trying to juggle too many balls at once. It's tiring, and we might end up dropping them all eventually. This habit can really mess with our minds, leaving us frustrated and disappointed. It's like chasing after the wind, a never-ending and frustrating endeavor. Buddhism teaches us why this habit weakens us mentally, but also shows us how surrendering control can actually empower us in a very paradoxical way. In Buddhism, they teach us about non-attachment, letting go of the illusion that we can control everything. It's like when you realize you can't hold on to clouds. They're always changing and shifting. Trying to control everything is like trying to grip water. It just slips through your fingers, making you feel powerless. Surrendering control doesn't mean giving up. It means understanding our limits of influence. It's like planting seeds in a garden. We take care of them, but we can't control the weather. The weather might bring rain or sunshine, but our role is to nurture the garden with care. When we realize that some things are just out of our hands, It's like finally freeing ourselves from a never-ending struggle. It's like loosening a tight grip. To kick the habit of trying to control everything, we can turn to mindfulness as our trusty sidekick. Mindfulness acts like a reliable anchor that keeps us rooted in the present moment. By putting our energy into what we actually have control over and letting go of the rest, we sail through uncertain waters with poise and strength. Buddhism teaches us something pretty cool. When we let go of control, we actually become more powerful. It's like realizing that by loosening our grip, we gain the strength to handle whatever life throws at us. When we stop trying to control everything and just go with the flow, it's like opening our hands to receive all the awesome things life has in store for us instead of holding on too tightly to what we think should happen. When we start embracing these teachings in our lives, something amazing happens. We let go of the need to control everything and instead find a newfound sense of empowerment. It's like catching the wind with a sail, propelling us forward with a wonderful feeling of freedom. By breaking free from the habit of micromanaging every little thing, we tap into our inner strength and learn to go with the flow of life. Habit number 9. Living in the past is like lugging around a heavy backpack full of old junk. It just drags us down and makes things more difficult. This habit messes with our heads because it keeps us stuck in what's already happened, stopping us from fully enjoying the present or looking ahead to the future. It's kinda like trying to drive a car while only looking in the rearview mirror. We're bound to miss out on what's coming up. Buddhism offers some valuable insights on why getting stuck in the past can mess with our minds and ways to break free from it. Mindfulness, a key practice in Buddhism, helps us stay grounded in the present moment. It's like opening up a window for fresh air. It clears out all that mental stuffiness caused by dwelling on the past. Dwelling on what's already happened is like trying to walk backwards. We're bound to stumble and lose our path. By letting go of the past, we create room for new experiences and exciting opportunities to come our way. Thinking too much about the past can hold us back and keep us stuck in old hurts and resentments. It's like still wearing a bandage on a healed wound. It stops us from fully enjoying life. Buddhism tells us to forgive, not just others, but also ourselves. Forgiveness is like opening a door to let go of the past and move forward without any baggage weighing us down. In Buddhism, they teach us about impermanence. It's all about realizing that everything in life is constantly changing. It's like watching a river flow. The water never stays the same. If we hold on too tightly to the past, it's like trying to freeze that river, and it becomes stale and lifeless. But when we acknowledge that everything is impermanent, we break free from the shackles of past experiences and open ourselves up to new possibilities. If you want to stop dwelling on the past, it's important to show yourself some self-compassion. Think of it as giving a friendly word of support to your own troubled mind. We all deserve a little kindness, including ourselves. When we treat ourselves with compassion and understanding, we can break free from the self-made prison of regret and guilt. Instead of being trapped by the past, we learn from it and grow as individuals. When we really take these teachings to heart, something magical happens. We start to break free from the things holding us back. Mindfulness, forgiveness, and self-compassion become our secret weapons for reaching true liberation. Letting go of the past and living in the present becomes second nature as we open ourselves up to every beautiful moment life has in store for us. Habit number 10. Stressing over what others say and do is like lugging around a massive backpack full of other people's thoughts. It weighs us down, makes us less genuine, and strips away our self-confidence. It's like sailing a boat that gets tossed around by every little wave. Not cool. Let's focus on being true to ourselves instead. The Buddhist teachings have some interesting ideas about why this habit makes us mentally weak and how we can break free from constantly judging ourselves and others. According to Buddhism, practicing equanimity helps us stay balanced even when faced with praise or criticism. It's like standing firm on solid ground while opinions come and go like the blowing wind. We remain steady. When we get caught up in worrying about what others think, it's like building our house on unstable ground. it becomes susceptible to every little storm that comes our way. But if we focus on developing a sense of balance and calmness, we can become more resilient when faced with external judgments. Relying on other people's opinions to judge ourselves is like giving them control of the mirror. Instead of seeing ourselves through our own eyes, we start seeing ourselves through theirs. In Buddhism, they emphasize how crucial it is to accept ourselves for who we are and to be true to ourselves. It's like rocking our favorite outfit instead of trying to squeeze into someone else's wardrobe. We're encouraged to express ourselves authentically without seeking constant approval, freeing ourselves from the constraints of other people's expectations. Mindfulness, a big deal in Buddhism, helps us get in touch with our thoughts and reactions. When we stress about what others think, it's like getting caught up in a confusing maze of opinions. Mindfulness serves as a guiding light, leading us back to our authentic selves. By being fully present in the here and now, we can look at these worries without getting all wrapped up in them. If you're tired of constantly worrying about what others think, showing yourself some love is the way to go. It's like planting little seeds of kindness within yourself. These seeds will blossom into a beautiful garden of self-acceptance. By recognizing your own worth and embracing what makes you special, you'll be able to deflect those pesky external judgments with ease. When we start living by these teachings, something pretty amazing happens. We become free from all the mental baggage that comes with worrying about what others think or do. By practicing being calm and accepting ourselves for who we truly are, we break the chains that hold us back from living authentically. Letting go of constant judgment helps us find our own path and live a life filled with inner strength and realness. Buddhism has some incredible insights on how to improve our mental strength and break free from harmful habits. By incorporating mindfulness, compassion, and wisdom into our everyday routines, we can overcome negative patterns and build lasting mental resilience. It's like embarking on a transformative journey that adds depth and meaning to our lives. Let the wisdom of Buddhism guide us towards a strong mind filled with purpose, compassion, and joy. As we continue to explore these timeless teachings and apply them in our daily lives, I invite you to join our community at Zenful Living on YouTube. By subscribing to our channel, you'll have access to more enriching content that aims to guide you on a path of personal growth and mindfulness. Your engagement matters to us, so don't hesitate to like and comment on our videos, sharing your insights, experiences, and how these teachings have influenced your life. Together, let's cultivate a space of learning, sharing, and growth. Embrace this journey with us at Zenful Living, where every step towards mindfulness is a step towards a more fulfilled and peaceful life. Subscribe now, and let's continue this journey of discovery and transformation together.